Good morning, everyone. We saw storms yesterday. We saw storms overnight, and unfortunately, we could see more strong storms for today. Only about a 30% chance for a few pop-up storms this morning, but storm chances increase this afternoon with highs getting into the upper 80s. Of course, we'll be watching for those storms that could contain some heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and small hail. Of course, these storms this time of year are producing frequent clouds of ground lightning as well. Full details on all of that. Look at the latest model guidance and Storm Team 10 radar in just a few minutes. Spot 2 on this Sunday morning, starting now.
Right now, many streets and neighborhoods experiencing heavy flooding after storms rolled through Acadiana. Plus, a summer program in St. Landry Parish is making sure no child goes hungry. And a rescue group saves dozens of cats from a hoarding situation. And rain.
Live from Acadiana, your local news leader, this is Spot 2.
Good Sunday morning to you all, and thank you for joining us for Spot 2. I'm Renee Allen. Severe thunderstorms passed through Acadiana yesterday afternoon and this morning, bringing in torrential rain and flooding in parts of Acadiana. St. Martin Parish was the hardest hit by the storm. Many areas experienced flooding. The Henderson Police Department said a tow truck got stuck under the I-10 bridge and needed to be rescued. DOTD is trying to pump out water and clear the roads under I-10 and Highway 347. Law enforcement officials are advising people to stay off the roads, which can create issues, of course, for first responders and many homeowners. There are multiple roads that are closed right now in St. Martin Parish due to this flooding. You can see the roads to avoid on your screen right now. The St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office is asking drivers not to go around any barricades or deputies who are blocking the roadways in these areas. Of course, this is all for safety, as it's not safe to drive through standing water. Melville police are searching for multiple suspects after a massive burglary at a home. Nearly $20,000 worth of items were stolen while the homeowner was in the hospital. According to Melville police, the burglars broke into a home on Jackson Lane. They stole $9,000 in cash, at least 11 firearms. It all added up to about $18,600 worth of goods. The Melville police chief says multiple people were involved in the burglary. Investigators have identified one of the burglars, a 32-year-old Rodney Sanders, a resident of Melville. He's still at large, we're told, and is wanted for aggravated burglary, felony theft, criminal damage to property, and criminal trespassing. Some of the stolen items have been found and recovered in an abandoned home on 1st Street in Melville, including 11 weapons. A Lafayette man is dead after a shooting early Saturday morning. Police are now investigating this as a homicide. The victim has been identified as 38-year-old Corey James LaPointe. According to LPD, officers responded to West Congress Street just before 1 a.m. yesterday. At the scene, they found LaPointe suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He died at the scene. If you have any information on this homicide, you're urged to contact Lafayette police. Let's go to Rain, where 35 cats have been rescued from what rescuers say was a hoarding situation. News 10's Radhika Taylor spoke with Cat Haven. That's a nonprofit organization in Baton Rouge that came out here to help.
Here in Rain, Cat Haven rescued 8 adult cats and 27 kittens who they say were in dire need of help.
At that point, we really didn't know what we were getting into until we got there. These cats were indoor, they were outdoor, there were baby kittens like in Tupperware containers. Just, it was really a bad situation.
Holly Carey, the executive director, says they were contacted because of a hoarding situation. Amber Harrow describes what she saw while on the rescue.
The house was very poor condition. All of the cats were outside. Pretty much all of the cats had eye infections or were missing eyes. There were kittens in a ice chest that were nursing. There was flies everywhere, bugs everywhere. Cats were just running all around the house and in the street and things like that. So it was a really bad situation for those cats to be in.
She says seeing them in their condition, suffering, was heartbreaking, but she says there was hope for the animals.
But it was a good thing to come in and rescue. I mean, that's kind of what we do, but it is sad to see that, people, how they handle their cats, how they handle their pets and don't get them fixed, and leads to situations like this.
Carrie says foster homes are needed right now.
Because some of these kittens and cats are sick, it is better for them to be in a home environment. It's less stressful than a shelter situation. They'll get well faster. Their needs will be met quicker than what we can do here.
The organization says they are working to get the cats and kittens healthy. Then they can find their forever homes. In Rain, Rodrika Taylor, KLFY News 10.
Now, Holly Carey of Cat Haven says a take-home message here is that people need to get their cats spayed and neutered. And there's help out there if you cannot afford to do it yourself. In St. Landry Parish, fighting child hunger is a top priority for the school board as they ramp up their summer feeding program. News 10's Zane Koch met with the nutrition supervisor and is now showing us how they're dedicated to this mission.
Here in St. Landry Parish, the school board summer feeding program is officially underway as the team is hard at work making sure no child goes hungry while school is out. Herzog says child hunger has been an ongoing issue for years, especially in the months children spend outside of school, creating a need for additional effort to provide assistance. With a full staff manning the kitchen and an assembly line set up, Herzog says they're ensuring kids meet all of their nutritional needs, from grains to proteins and their fruits and veggies. School officials even put me to work by helping fill up some of the boxes. You just got to tell me what to do.
Okay, now.
This is kind of therapeutic, actually. With plenty of food packed into each box, Herzog says the program is taking place at the perfect time as inflation and rising costs for even the smallest of grocery items continue to rise, putting a strain on many families in the parish.
It actually helps reduce their food costs during the summer, so we do anything that we can to actually support our community as a school system. So we just hope that our children come out and enjoy the meals that we've lovingly prepared for them.
Herzog does want to remind parents that this program is for any child 18 and under that lives in St. Landry Parish, even if they don't attend school inside the parish. I'm Zane Ho for KLFY News 10.
So parents who would like to register their child for this summer feeding program, you can do so on the St. Landry Parish School Board website or in person at the Magnet Academy for Cultural Arts in Opelousas. Hurricane season has officially begun as we prepare for what could be an active season. Bill Wood met one guy who has his eye on the wind.
This is a bit breezy. Standing inside his science experiment, his one-of-a-kind hurricane simulating Louisiana wind tunnel.
We can test as actual hurricanes.
One LSU engineering professor is a real tiger. He's ready to roar about his research and about the answers he discovers blowing in the wind.
We can grow our relationship with the wind, all right, if we know more about it.
So the wind does not have to be our enemy.
No.
On campus at Louisiana State University, Professor Ali Musad Ali is the guy who got his PhD studying how high-rise buildings hold up in a storm.
This is a high-rise building. The motivation for this research was after Hurricane Laura. Engine 1.
Now, with help from 4
Engine 2.
jet engine-sized fans, the professor creates a category for hurricane. That's up to 156 miles an hour, and that is 3 times the wind speed he's showing you and me right here.
This is about 50 miles per hour. What we realized from this experiment,
he tests what hurricanes do to buildings and bridges.
We put them on the edges, like here and here.
To traffic lights, too.
The wind always knocks out the traffic lights and the poles that hold them up.
Absolutely.
And most of all, to your home.
Like the tiles, the shingles, part of the roof itself. It can be a scale 1 to 5.
Working with students in Baton Rouge, Ali remembers growing up on a farm in Egypt, where nature became his first and best teacher.
Wind actually can be very useful, but if we learn how to live with it.
And to not be gone with the wind. That's a strong wind.
So nonprofits and organizations are also preparing for hurricane season. The Salvation Army is sharing what you can expect from them during a disaster. They have received a new emergency response vehicle and $100,000 donation from Albertsons. This contribution, we're told, will help the organization provide hot meals and supplies to those in need. During Hurricane Ida, the Salvation Army provided thousands of supplies to impacted families.
In the immediate aftermath, the Salvation Army provided 450,000 meals, 9,000 food boxes, and over 350,000 drinks and snacks. Like Albertsons Foundation, they graciously bought this vehicle for us so we can go out and offer hope and help to people that need us the most after a disaster. So the excitement level today is through the roof.
Baton Rouge now has 2 of these emergency vehicles. There are a total of 10 in the state. Trevor Sonier over in the Weather Center trying to get us ready for some more rainfall, I guess, later on today.
Yeah, more storms in the forecast. We've seen a busy 48 hours, pretty much a busy week here with I feel like storms each and every day, really gaining strength and going severe. And it looks like we could see a similar setup today. Let's take a look at Storm Team 10 radar to see what's going on right now. We do have a few isolated storms across the area. We have one storm approaching Opelousas and then some pop-up storms across St. Landry Parish. But the heaviest storm action is away from Acadiana. It's across the Baton Rouge area, and some pop-up storms also near the coast, but nothing severe at this moment. But we could see more stronger storms later on this afternoon, especially once that atmosphere destabilizes. 74 in Lafayette, 74 in New Iberia. Satellite radar, we had some storms move through overnight, which did produce damage. We'll be going to check that out later on today across southern portions of Lafayette Parish, northeastern Vermilion near Youngsville and Maurice. And we could see more of these storms popping up through the day as we have more upper level energy that will be moving through. Temperatures rising through the 80s, but the temperature rise will halt somewhere in the upper 80s when those storms begin and fire off later on this afternoon. Our model is showing around 3 o'clock, but we already have storms on radar. And I do have to stress, these high-res models have really not done a good job at modeling this activity coming in each day. None of the models really showed the storms coming in as aggressive as they did last night, for example. So we just have to watch things really closely. We have to babysit this radar through the day today and just monitor things closely. And even for tomorrow, we thought we would maybe see a lowering of rain chances, but our model's hyping up the storms again tomorrow across the area. Level 1 risk of severe weather today, mainly for the threat of some damaging wind gusts and some large hail in some of these storms. Of course, these storms will be producing heavy rain and frequent clouds of ground lightning. That's pretty much a guarantee at this point. And some very heavy rainfall. We could see some isolated bullseye hot spots of anywhere from 2 to 4 inches because these storms are dumping 2 to 3 inches per hour. So if they stall over your location, you could get a lot of rainfall very quickly. That's exactly what happened across St. Martin Parish yesterday. Temperatures in the upper 80s later on this afternoon. Maybe a touch warmer for tomorrow, as I am expecting a little more sunshine. But this pattern has been very stubborn, very persistent. This westerly flow, these multiple upper level disturbances embedded within that flow moving in and creating these storms. But high pressure coming in for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will give us a break, at least temporarily. Could see a weak front trying to move into the area by Friday. 88-year high today, a 60% chance for storms. Heavier rainfall could be possible. 7-day forecast shows a 30% chance for storms Monday. Hot weather Tuesday, Wednesday, and especially by Thursday and Friday. And a weak front tries to slip in for Friday, maybe just enough to warrant about a 30% chance for storms.
All right, thank you for that, Trevor. And also, we just want to let you know that for the latest weather conditions in your area, you can download the free KLFY weather app by scanning the code you see on your screen or from Google Play or the Apple App Store. Also, here at KLFY, we are still honoring, that's right, veterans and men and women currently serving. Today, we are honoring Airman Apprentice Stephen Guillory of the U.S. Navy. We thank you for your service. If you would like to honor a veteran or a current military service member, just go to KLFY.com. Hit the banner and tell us who we should be honoring here at KLFY. And speaking of veterans, as we approach the 80th anniversary of D-Day, this morning we take a closer look at one key site in Operation Overlord.
About 4 miles west of Omaha Beach sits a key site in Operation Overlord.
If we look at a straight line, here's Omaha Beach, here's Utah Beach, and right between them is Pointe du Hoc.
Pointe du Hoc is formidable, but on June 6, 1944, an elite group of soldiers faced that challenge, making the steep climb while weighed down with equipment.
220 Rangers will scale the 100-foot cliffs of Pointe du Hoc.
Only 90 survived. But their mission was critical, not only because of Pointe du Hoc's position, but also its weaponry.
Those cannons are very particular because they're French cannons of World War I, and they have a range of 12 miles, which means from Pointe du Hoc, you can land artillery shells on this beach, you can land artillery shells at Utah Beach, and you can land artillery shells into our troop carriers.
It was essential for Allied forces to capture that spot.
It was the priority mission for the 6th of June, the first one that had to be completed.
And even though it came at a high cost, those soldiers accomplished their mission.
The amazing thing about Pointe du Hoc is those 220 Rangers held back six German counterattacks over 2 days and held up Pointe du Hoc by themselves. They were very, very outnumbered, heavily outnumbered.
Reminders of those battles endure. The ground scarred by craters from the Allied bombings. Imprints that leave little to the imagination about the scale and scope of the attack.
People don't understand the 6th of June was a horrible, horrible day.
Bunkers still sit atop the hill, the shelters first protecting Axis troops and then Allied troops. Now they're filled with visitors, following in the footsteps of the soldiers who held that ground.
You can imagine this very quickly, how difficult it was to climb those cliffs as you were being shot at.
Now, Pointe du Hoc features a peaceful yet somber memorial, a symbolic granite dagger created by the French government, and now under the care of the American Battlefield Monument Commission, which works to preserve the site.
It's hard to fight Mother Nature. The climate's not been too friendly to us.
But the mission, to honor the legacy of those who fought, endures. A place to remember that sacrifice and honor it for years to come. In Normandy, France, I'm Maria-Elena Baloris.
Once again, good morning to you, Acadiana. Coming up, we're going to take you where you can find, trade, and connect with plants and people who share your passion. That's happening for you today in Scott.